What is a really highly overlooked and little known technique for most of the country to catch suspended bass? Stay tuned. Good morning, guys and girls. It is June 13. June 13, we're going to be looking at one of the Gospels, the Gospel of Luke, the good doctor, Luke 6:38. And this is really a great one right here. This is how you're successful right here. Give and you will receive. The way you give to others is the way that God will give to you. Boy, do I love that one. God will give to you. The way you give to others is the way that God will give to you. Let's see what I wrote about that. Fishing provides wonderful opportunities to share with others. Oh, it really does. We can share our time, our skills, and our experiences. I believe wholeheartedly that the more we give to anything, the more we receive back. This is God's plan. That's what it says right there in Luke 6:38. The more we give to anything, the more we receive back. This principle goes way beyond tangible things. It includes attitudes, feelings. The more love we give, the more we'll be loved. You want to be happy? Give happiness to others. It's amazing how even a simple smile will cause folks to smile back at you. You ever try that? Just walking by and look at somebody and just smile at them? They'll usually smile back. They may think, that goofball. That's what they think when I smile at them a lot of times. The results are gift from God. So in other words, when you smile at somebody and they smile back, that's a gift from God right there. This deal of God's works both ways. This is the bad part right here, guys. This is the part that's really important. If we give bitterness, anger, harsh words, lies, or anything else bad or negative, that's usually what we'll get back. If we give bitterness, anger, harsh words, lies, anything else negative, that's what we're going to get back. You know, we all know people and have been around people that it doesn't matter what they do or what happens to them in their day or in their life. They're bitter about it. They're angry about it. They just seem they can't really have any happiness. No matter what happens, they make something bad out of it. We've been around people like that forever, and whatever you do for them, whatever you do with them, they're going to turn every positive situation into a negative. It's sort of a poor, pitiful me, no matter what. They carry things from years back. They take every little thing and twist it around. It's kind of like looking at fake news. They take everything, little thing, twist it around and make it negative. We've gone through a rough time here in 2020, and our economy, unemployment just skyrocketed through this virus when they basically told everybody to quit working. But the first really good economic report that came out and where unemployment was supposed to be like 21%, it was down to 13. That first report that came out, all I hear about through the media was some little bitty tiny negative things they can find in there, and saying, instead of saying, great, the economy's going good again, so you can find negatives in everything, and we all know people like that. And what I'm saying is, don't be one of them. Don't be one of them. Look for the positive in every single thing that you do. You give positive to people, they're going to give positive back. You donate your money, you're going to get money back. You donate your time, you're going to have more time. It just works that way. Give and you will receive. The way you give to others is the way that God will give it to you. Okay, here's our tip for today. And this is really a good one right here. For suspended deep water bass, try a float and fly technique. That's right, a float and fly technique. Now, I wish I had the stuff here where I could show you what a float and tie technique is, but a float and fly is nothing other than taking a bobber. That's right, just a bobber, and big old red and white bobbers, and then putting a little float and fly on some really light line down below it. And some of these rigs may be like 10 or 12 foot down below it. And it's a technique that you use for suspended bass that are out in the middle of channels and rivers and big bays, and they're just hard to find. and they're hard to see. And so you just get out there and you get a day like we've got today where the wind's blowing quite a bit, and you get out in those areas and you take that thing, and you may have 10 or 12 foot of leader on it, so you just sort of heave it out there a little ways, and you let that little tiny floating fly. Now, it's not floating on top of the water. They call it a floating fly because you're floating it suspended. And if you got 10 foot of line out, it's going to be in like 8 or 9 foot of water. If you got 15 foot of line out, it's going to be like in 10 or 11, 12 foot of water. And you just let it drift. You just drift, and that bobber's back there, and that little fly, that little teeny tiny, and they make specific ones. This is I would say it's more probably of a Tennessee and Kentucky technique, probably more Tennessee technique than anywhere else, but it works great in Texas. It works great in Oklahoma. It works great almost anywhere where you have suspended bass in clear water. Cold water works wonderful. Real hot water still works. So it's a great technique. And you just simply let your boat drift on a windy day like we have today. Let your boat drift and just let that bobber drift back behind the boat. And those bass will come up and eat that little fly. They can see it from 30, 40, 50, 60 feet away. So it doesn't matter. You can be floating over really deep water, and that fish can be down really deep. They're going to usually be right above the thermocline. So that's how you find those. But it's a great technique to use for suspended bass. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. If you want to smile, smile at people. I love you.